In terms of the current Correctional Services Act, offenders serving life sentence, they need to serve at least 25 years before they are considered. But we had a situation in November 2011 where the North Gauteng High Court have ruled that we need to consider all lifers who were sentenced before 1 October 2004 in terms of the previous Correctional Services Act. That is the old act known as Act 8 of 1959. And in terms of that act, offenders serving a life were supposed to serve 20 years, but then there was a credit system in place. With the credit system, you could have earned, due to good behavior and other positive things, a maximum credits of 6 years and 8 months. In other words, if you deduct then the credits from the 20 years, you'll find the situation that if you're serving a life sentence, you become eligible to be considered for parole after serving 13 years and 4 months. In other words, the cases that the Minister is currently considering are exactly the cases stemming from this Van Wyk High Court ruling. In other words, Minister is, in terms of that court ruling, he has to consider all lifers who have served at least 13 years and 4 months of their sentence. He need to consider them for parole. In other words, it's not a right and automatic process that they will indeed be released. But in terms of the legislation, the Minister has to consider their possible placement on parole. When the court ruled in 2011, it was already a system that was already ceased to exist for a number of years. The ruling was in 2011, and obviously the current act was in operation since 2004. And there was administrative decision to get the benefit of the doubt to the lifers. In other words, we have administratively then allocated to them the maximum credits of the 6 years and 8 months. And obviously that is also linked then now to, their rehabilitation as well as, their good behavior as well as their rehabilitation courses that they attended inside the correctional center, as well as their studies and their adaptation in the correctional center. So it's not an automatic process. There's various processes that need to be followed. Maybe I can also explain to the listeners that if an offender reached that time of 13 years and 4 months, 6 months before that time, there's at every correctional center a case management committee that will consider and compile the profile of the offender and then submit it to the Correctional Supervision and Parole Board, which is chaired by an independent person who is not a member of the Department of Correctional Services. There's also members of the community as part of that parole board, as well as, in these cases of people serving sentences more than 10 years, representatives from the South African Police Service, as well as the Department of Justice. Okay. And also, we also invite people from the victims to be part of this process. It is obviously, every offender's right to take the department to court. It's not very unique, but I need to emphasize that the cases that we are referring to in KwaZulu-Natal is a situation where we have different court rulings. There was a Van Vuuren court ruling in 2010 and the Van Wyk one. Now, depending when you are sentenced, there are different matters, as you indicated, that we need to consider. But I can confirm that the cases that you are referring to were submitted and are also in the process of being considered. And also some of those were already considered during the, 2012. So we also have communicated some of the Minister's latest decisions as early as yesterday, to the correctional centers, because, we can really not have a situation where offenders are threatening to be, the Minister to take a decision. The Minister do have this 348 cases that he's in a process to be considered, and he's giving due cognizance of all the factors before he's making a decision. It's not just for the Minister to sign. He's really giving due cognizance. And as and when he completes the process, we inform those offenders. It's also very sad that people want to be released, but then they threaten, with hunger strikes and those. And we really want to encourage offenders to be patient